Well, welcome back, Air Gunners. This is Zach from the Shooter Zone, where we are always staying on target. All right, so we're back for day 2 on the brand new Umarex Gauntlet Side Lever 30, the SL30. Yesterday we just got out here at the end of the day just to squeeze in a little video for you guys, and it shot really well. If you saw the video, we're using just some rifle pellets, and I think it did very well, especially for a windy day. And so today, I told you we're going to run a couple slugs through it. So I have 2 slugs today that I'm going to run through it. I'm going to run the brimstones, which are 60.8 grain, and there's no mention of diameter on these. I didn't check the diameter, though I may and put that on here. But as of this point, I didn't. And then we have the Griffin, 64 grain, 0.300 diameter. Again, these are hollow points this time. The brimstones are kind of hollow point. And just the difference between these two that I noticed straight off. The brimstones are a little shorter and a little fatter at the end, at the front portion of the pellet, we'll say, or the slug, excuse me, while the Griffins have a little bit more of a taper up at the hollow point end. And so what I noticed the differences of these two just to begin with is that the Griffins feed much better. The brimstones being a little bit kind of, I don't know, not flat nose, but again, a little bit more abrupt, are a little bit tighter. And you can notice that difference pretty easily. So we're gonna put 3 shots of each on these 2 bottom targets here at 40 yards, and again, we'll just see what happens. Just a little bit about the side lever 30. Just again, this is pretty much almost the same as the G30, but it has a side lever. But again, it has 4,500 pounds per square inch tank, 2,800 PSI on the regulator. It comes with 2 7-round mags. It comes with a single shot tray. It comes with the Allen keys, that kind of stuff. It is side fill, so this way you don't have to put in a probe, which is always nice. Picatinny rail on top. Adjustable rear cheek piece, which I like. I usually just raise it up just a tad for me. Has a threaded barrel at the end, and that is the 1/2x20 kind of standard size thread, in which we have the Yokozuna from DonnyFL on there today. And as is yesterday, we also have the Marcol 5.5 to 25 times 50 millimeter scope on here. And again, it works extremely well with this rifle. This rifle's capable of some long distances, so I would recommend, something around this zoom length. Even longer than that, 30 would be great too. A 5x30 zoom would be great for it also. But again, great scope, great rifle, great moderator, and just a great all-around setup altogether with this combination. All right, no more talking. We're going to take 3 shots at each. We're first going to start with the bottom left, and we should have the Griffins in here first. Yes, we do. And I could tell just by pushing that lever forward how easy they went in. Just a little bit of resistance at the end. The brimstones have more of a resistance starting sooner. All right. Hopefully we can keep these tight. Just so you know, I didn't change anything as far as zeroing from the pellets we shot yesterday, the rifle pellets. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to hold center on this, and we'll just see where they land. So I wanted you to know that. I have not changed anything. All right. We have the scope all the way up at 25 power. We're going to start at the bottom left. And again, these are the Griffins, 64 grain. I did adjust the trigger on this, which I recommend to everybody. It is pretty light. All right. Holy smokes, the first two went in the same hole. The third one, just a tad off from that, but I'm a little shaky too. Again, as I got older, I'm not as steady as I used to be. I used to shoot a lot of long range stuff when I was younger, out to 1,000 yards. And man, I'll tell you what, I cannot hold as steady as I used to these days, but that's okay. I mentioned before, a lot of people probably don't know this, but I had stage 4 cancer 8 years ago as well. So a lot of chemo, a lot of radiation. You're never the same after that. And that may have something to do with it. You know, some people say at nighttime when it's really, really dark out, I have this little glow around me, but I don't know. Okay, so here are the brimstones. Again, a lot harder to push in, but they do go in. And again, we're going to put 3 shots on this bottom right target. I'm seeming to have to back off on both of these. Just back off a little bit and then re-engage the slug as I go in. I don't know what happened with that last shot. I was holding pretty steady. Okay, well there we go. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's why we do this. We just want to see, you know, what happens when we feed these slugs in and how they perform. Again, I'm pretty sure I mentioned already, that's 40 yards. That's pretty much what I test everything at, 40 yards. Because I figure if it shoots pretty good at 40 yards, then you're definitely good at shorter distances than that. But you're also, you know, you're probably good for sure out to 60 yards. Just thinking about this. And again, I don't think the average shooter probably shoots more than this. I know people are using this in competition out to 100 yards. Again, but I'm sure those have some work done to them. This is straight out of the box. The only thing I've done to this was adjust the trigger. That's pretty much it. And again, when these come out of the box, you have to adjust the trigger because they are long, creepy, heavy, and again, there's, I don't think, any pre-adjustments on these when they put these things together. I mean, they're about as bad as you can get. But it's not that bad to adjust the triggers on these. These triggers pretty much are the same ever since the beginning of the gauntlets. And, you know, they're pretty much kind of like the Crossmans too. Not much different than that. Again, and there's only, I don't know, 3 screws to take off the front shroud. And then there's 3 screws to take the stock off. But I don't even take the stock all the way off, just so you know. I removed the 3 screws from the stock. I push the stock away from the breech, and I just leave the stock right where it's at that point. I don't typically remove the whole thing off of there because there is this little piece up here that kind of holds it still within the rifle up top where the end of the, well, where the barrel and the bottle and you know, all that fits under here. Oh my gosh, I lost for words again. I'll just chalk it up for the chemo and radiation, but I have lost my memory a little bit over the years. The regulator, there we go. I knew it'd come to me. If I just talked a little bit longer, I knew it would come. So this part of the stock is connected up above here, and so again, you don't have to remove the whole thing. Just separate it a little bit so this way you have enough room. I like taking the side plate off when I do my adjustments. This way I can really just see it a lot better. And again, you don't want to over adjust it and get misfires, but just enough where it's nice and clean and crisp. I have it set up where I just have this tiny little bit of this kind of free play up front, and then when you start to squeeze the trigger, it makes this one little movement, and when I know that, then I know the next squeeze it's going to break clean. And I like having it that way. It's kind of letting me know where I'm at when I start to squeeze the trigger, almost like a two-stage in a way. Again, you start to squeeze it, it moves just a slight bit and it stops. It hits this like little tiny wall, and again, hardly any pressure on the trigger. And then when I squeeze a little bit more, bam, it pops. Again, that's how I like my trigger set. The poundage, I don't know. I'm not necessarily picky about how many pounds it breaks at. I'm more picky about how clean it breaks. Whether it breaks at 1 pound or whether it breaks at 3 pounds, really doesn't matter to me. I just want it to break clean, and I want it to be predictable. Those are the two things I care about the most. All right, day 2 of testing the brand new Gauntlet side lever 30, and again, it's responding, just like the regular G30, as I expected. It's a fantastic shooter, and again, you just have to look to see what pellets work the best at it. The rifle pellets yesterday worked really great. Again, these Griffin Slugs, people are using from 64 grain up to 78 grain through these, and they shoot fantastic. The pellets I was testing yesterday, they were producing, I think, 104 FPE and about 965 feet per second. So that's pretty good. The Griffin 64s will produce a little bit more FPE than that, and the 78s even more FPE than that. I haven't really messed with the hammer spring at all. It just whatever came to out of the box. So I know if I crank that down just a little bit more, I'd push these even a little bit faster. But again, I'm happy where it's at. I like it up in the 9s. I don't, once it starts to break 1,000 feet per second, I don't know. I'm just a little bit picky on where I like it. I like it in the around the mid 9s, somewhere around there. And so 965 with the 50 grain pellets, I'm fine with. The 64s are probably running closer to 900 feet per second. And again, that's good too. I just want to be above 900 feet per second. That's always what I like. Just as long as I'm above 900 feet per second with what I'm shooting, I'm really happy. So there you go. What else? Again, I told you I have the DonnyFL Yokozuna on here, Marcol scope. I also have the Hajimoto high cap magazine in here. And I think that's it. Just a standard basic, Amazon bipod, nothing big. So all right. Well, another day testing this. Again, I'm sure we'll be shooting it a lot more, and we'll have more videos on this. But for now, that's going to be it. If you haven't liked this page yet, please click that button below and like this page. If you haven't liked us on Facebook yet, please go to Facebook and like the Shooter Zone. We appreciate that as well. So until next time, shoot lots, be safe, and we'll see you again soon. Take care now.